6 foot tall, 207 pounds, out of Ohio State. Strong safety, Lathan Ransom. Panthers got you. You're up. Let's go. What's up, everybody? Carolina Keith. Got another good Panther video for you here, going over our next draft pick, Lathan Ransom. I got some good video for you, some good feedback. Of course, as always, it's athleticism, production, and film combined. We don't leave any of the three out. Those are the three most important metrics that I've found, as well as many NFL teams have found are the most important things. Now I'll say this, pick 122 in the 4th round. Typically, you want to see your top 4 round guys be on the field on day one, some way, shape, or form. You don't want to see them sit in the bench for 2 or 3 years. You want to see these guys produce immediately. And I think so far, the guys we've gone through will be on the field. I've already went through 4 guys. They had 5 picks in the first 4 rounds. And that was even after trading some guys. So do I think Ransom will see the field? Absolutely. And I'll show you why. First, let's talk about the athleticism and the production. Get into the film at the end. He's got a lot of film. He's got a lot of highlights, honestly. All right, here we go. Athleticism first. This is from MathBomb over on Twitter, at MathBomb over on X, Twitter, whichever you want to call, Ken Lee Platt. This is athletic testing for Lathan Ransom. 88th percentile strong safety. Pretty good height, pretty good weight, very good bench press numbers, as you see here. His vertical, 36-inch vertical for a safety is excellent. Broad jump, good. 40 time. Here's where we start to see some of the little cracks here. 4.59. It's good that he's under 4.6, but you'd really like to see low 4.5 or 4.4 for an elite level speed number. Good news is his 10 and 20 yard split were very good in the 82nd and 93rd profiles. What does this mean? This means he has short-term quickness and explosion. He misses the top end breakaway speed. All right. Can that be taught? Maybe, but probably not. Let me drop the camera off for the last one. Shuttle and 3-cone. Why is this important? Well, we've talked about this before, but as a safety, you need to have well-rounded numbers. Pretty much every column, we'll go through this in a second, pretty much every column needs to be checked for safeties to be a high draft pick. And this is why he did not go in the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd round. He didn't even do the 3-cone, which is a red flag to a lot of teams. They want to see every single profile you put on the field, and they also want you to be upper level in these. And as you see, 50th percentile on the shuttle and 3-cone. This is an agility test. It shows us how quick you can move back and forth between point to point with fluidity. All right. Obviously, that was his weakest point of all of his athletic traits. How does that translate? Well, top end speed may be a problem. Guys might beat you over the top, especially if you're man up. You're going to need help on those plays, or you're going to need to be hidden with a zone of some kind. Perhaps you're better in zone because you have short speed burst as your favor. Gonna hurt you when you go one-on-one against a quicker guy, though, because again, those agility scores were a little lower. So he's kind of a tweener. And what I mean by tweener is not big enough to be a linebacker, a little bit big for safety, a little too big and slow for corner. So he's a little bit of a floating defender. This is why I think he'll see the field. I do think he'll be a backup. I do think he'll play in certain nickel and dime situations, perhaps even quarters. And I definitely think he'll be on special teams, where he was an absolutely great special teamer even in college. Now, here's that scale I was showing you a moment ago. On the far right over here, we see safety. I'm going to drop the camera off. Note that in safety position, you got a pretty much blue box on the entire column with the exception of bench press and height. That's 2 things that he has in his favor. But note, the biggest, most important thing for a safety is the shuttle. And that's the number 1 thing that he didn't do. Do that shuttle run, get a good score. All of a sudden, you're a late 2nd, early 3rd round pick. Unfortunately, he didn't do that. All right, how about production? Now, it whites my face out when I do this every time because this is so bright in here. It's one of them little things you guys can't see about making YouTube videos when you do a face-on video stream is you have these bright lights in your eyeballs. Here's the college production numbers. We talked about this a lot. You want to see your guys up in this top right quadrant. These are your normal, easy to spot targets. And the guys like Nick Eamon-Worry, RJ Mickens, Xavier Watts, Kevin Winston Jr., all up here at or near the upper quadrant. High floor, right? More upside as far as production goes, but a little bit less athleticism. And maybe that doesn't kill you, right? You see the production is along the bottom here on the x-axis, and athleticism on the y-axis. Well, Lathan Ransom falls kind of around in the middle. You'll see that most safeties fall in this box. Very few fall in this box. So does that mean he's not going to be a good player? Not necessarily. It means that his production was a little lacking and he's not the most elite athlete ever. He's going to have to beat you with skill level. You can see some of the comps around him, Jonathan McGill, Dan Jackson, Jonas Sanker. All these guys were kind of drafted at or near the same spot. It was very rare to get guys up here. Look at the names up here. Trayvon Mooring. That's right, he's a Panther. Isaiah Simmons, tweener. Didn't really work out. They tried to make him a DE, tried to make him a safety. Doesn't really work out for Simmons yet, has it? Kevin Byard, great player. Justin Simmons, great player. Xavier Woods, Julian Love, Javon Holland, great player. So Justin Reed back here as well. What I'm bringing with by showing you this is he has upside on production. He has upside on athleticism. If he works on a few things, he can move himself out of this quadrant and into a new quadrant, but yet still risky. So if you ever wondered how a guy who can tackle, who has great power, great speed on the field, doesn't miss many tackles, played on a great program, can slip all the way to the back of the 4th round, well, this is how. When you have iffy athleticism scores where they really need it, and when you have iffy production scores where they really need it, well, that gives them a balance that they don't necessarily like, and you end up getting shuffled back. Now to show you where he excels. He's coming downhill like a missile. No stopping him, 100% committed to knocking people down. It doesn't matter if it's a running back, a receiver, a tight end, a quarterback. It's all the same to him. If you're in the way and I'm in the box and you run the ball, I'm getting to the ball. Very rarely did he not get to the ball, as a matter of fact. Watch the extreme explosion and knockout ability here. Simple run to the left. You can see it coming. They actually have the gaps opened here up already. You've got defensive linemen lined up on the 0 gap and the 1 gap to try to create a pinch, or I'm sorry, the 1 gap here and the 3 gap here to try to create a pinch and try to get some movement on the line. They're going to try to go right through that gap. They think they've got it. Watch what Ransom does. He is of no care. Ball is snapped. They open up the hole. Guard pushes him out. Tackle pushes him out. They have a little bit of a tandem block here. You see the tight end eyeing up his guy. Ransom comes from the other side of the field here. Bow. And again, backwards. He hits you and you go backwards. There is highlight after highlight of this. Sure, in the box, in between the tackles, you make a tackle. That's great. What about on the edge? Do you have the speed to get around the edge? He does. As a matter of fact, he did this a ton. He was excellent in contain. He only ever seemed to miss tackles in the box when he had a guy squared up, thinking he was going to knock him out, and the guy gave him a simple little shifty move to make him miss the tackles, right? Sometimes he overcommits on the tackles, and that's where it kind of bites him on the back end. But note here, he's on the edge. He crept into the box. He was set back all the way up top. You see that? They have an 8 in the box set. They're trying to stop the run. They have the advantage, as a matter of fact. You've got 5 blockers and a running back versus 8 in the box. They're going to make the stop. More so, watch what Ransom does. Ball is snapped. Instinctively sees the offensive line flow, sees the running back and the quarterback flow, immediately goes to his spot, which is contain the edge. Guy tries to get around the edge. Big mistake, bow, and again, more negative yardage. It wasn't just a one-time thing. He did this over and over and over. We saw it in the box. We saw it on the edge. What about open field tackles? He's on the opposite side hash here. Quarterback by himself. What's going to happen? Ransom immediately reads that the quarterback is looking this way. He knows what's up. Quarterback takes a couple steps here. Let me get that. Play starts to flow. Ransom is already tracking. And boom. Open field. Snare tackle by the ankles for a loss. Once again, what else do you need to see? Box set. 8 in the box. Ohio State did this a ton. Iowa, heavy run team. No secret about it. They got a big boy running back. They open up a nice hole here, but watch what Ransom does. If you remember Luke Kuechly from back in the Super Bowl run, he did this a ton. When you gave him a hole and he knew it was a run play, you were in trouble. Watch what Ransom does. No hesitation. Boom, boom, boom. Bow. And again, another tackle for loss. It wasn't a one-time thing or a two-time thing. It was a multiple-time thing. Bow. Look at this play. Deep safety now, right? Look, he's the deep safety on the play. This is the only guy out here. Unusual set for him. Quarterback tries to decide, oh, I'm going to fake out a couple guys, a little run the read option. You bid on it. I got one-on-one. I'm going to beat the one-on-one. Or am I? I get around the edge and Ransom says, boom. You will not get the first down. Sorry. Next time. One more try. Off the edge. He's just floating around in the box like I said he does all the time, right? He kind of plays that joker role. Again, they got 7 in the box, 8 in the box if you count this guy down here, but he's actually covering the receivers. This is a seven-man set. No hesitation. As soon as the ball snapped, he knew exactly what he was supposed to be doing, which was attack. Ball snapped, no hesitation, straight into the backfield. Bit of an arm tackle. Like I said, he overcommits sometimes, but he still managed to make the play. He's at Mike linebacker on this play. Look, they've got 6 on the line. He's the Mike. Ball is snapped. Immediate reaction. Boom, I know the play. I know you're trying to run a read option. You're not going up the middle on me. Another tackle for loss. Here we go again versus Minnesota. Ransom's over here on the side by himself. He was supposed to be a box safety here in this particular set. They had 2 tight ends in the game, but they then motioned a guy out. And when they motioned the guy out, Ransom looks like he's going to be one-on-one. It's a bit of a ruse, though. This is a zone play. And again, Ransom's in his wheelhouse here. He's able to free roam and headhunt. A great comp for him, for me, is going to be Mike Minter mixed with Kenny Vaccaro. For all you Panther fans out there, go ahead and tell me you wouldn't want to have Mike Minter, Kenny Vaccaro hybrid. Because in my opinion, that's exactly what Lathan Ransom is. Ball is snapped. Off we go. Lathan Ransom immediately goes to his section where he's supposed to be. Not shallow, not deep, perfectly in that box where he's best. Ball comes out by the quarterback. Guess what you never did to Mike Minter? You never threw over the middle on Mike Minter because he was going to make you pay. Watch what Lathan Ransom does. Bow! Instant head-knocking contact. When he hits you, you feel it. Boom! And guess what? My man doesn't get up. Ransom then celebrates. It's called an incomplete pass. He gets an A+ grade on this particular play. Wasn't even his guy. He's playing the other third over there on that side. This isn't even his guy. This is the deep safeties guy. This is supposed to be a play where that receiver's open, and that's why the quarterback threw it there. Hey, man, that's the void of the zone. I'm going to hit you over the top right there. He did. Ransom showed great coverage ability to get back there in zone and make the pop. Fabulous play by Ransom here. He's on the lower half of the field here. They've got 2 safeties on the field. He's one-on-one with the tight end back here. You just can't see it yet because the tight end hasn't started moving. Watch how well he sheds blocks. Another very good trait of his is the block shedding. You're not going to block him up and hold him on too long. He's going to get loose of you. And again, downhill missile. Ball is snapped. One-on-one. He knows what to do. As soon as he sees this play isn't doing what he thought it was going to do, he isn't seeing the tight end take off here. He knows now, I own this third. You are in trouble. Whoever gets this ball's getting popped. Corner's got the one-on-one. He's not the worry. You've got your deep safety back here playing cover 1 by himself. He's also helping out with these 2 receivers up here. So this safety's in no man's land by himself up here. Good thing is, Ransom doesn't care. He's going to seek for the ball every time. Ball is snapped. What happens? Oh no, we got to get rid of it. What do we do? Boom. Ransom right in the spot he should be. Tight end stayed in to block. Panthers fans will know this play. This is called a green dog blitz. Or a style of a green dog blitz. When your receiver doesn't run the route, you blitz. Bottom line. Or at least crowd the line. And in this situation, he crowded the line because the guy he's supposed to be covering didn't run. Didn't try to cover anybody else, did his job, which is something I like to see. Do the job that you're given. Tight end doesn't go, tries to block up that defensive end, fails miserably. After he does that, oh crap, now I was supposed to block and shed and spin and catch. That was supposed to be the play. Ransom's all over it. Bow. And again, backwards on the tackles. He can do this all day. Here's the really tricky piece to this. He had really good stats in 2023 before starting the 2024 year. 269 snaps, 6 catches, 0 touchdowns, and a 19.8 passer rating. So the question becomes, what happened? What makes you fall off from a very, very good coverage safety to a guy that gets beat a lot, anything past 10 yards? All right, so let's talk about where Ransom struggles. And this is going to be a highlight of his career until now, getting into the pros. Things have got to fix, right? If you're going to play strong safety in the league, you're going to be playing in the box. And if you're going to play in the box, occasionally you're going to get one-on-one matchups that you've got to deal with. This is probably his worst part of his game, especially anything past about 12 yards. He's at the bottom here, one-on-one with this receiver. All right, again, it's not a coverage thing for him where he excels. He excels in going downhill, hitting you with speed and power, tackling ability, run stuffing, playing in between the hash marks. That's his skill set, stopping the run and forcing you to throw the ball. It's a little bit of an unfair matchup for him. So you've got a 8 in the box set here for Ohio State. They've got 4 in the line, 4 linebackers. And honestly, he's not a linebacker. He's a safety. Now he is a tweener, like I've mentioned before. So he gets put in a situation where he's in the box. He's in the box one-on-one with the receiver. They've got a 3 receiver set, tight end, tight to the right. And Ohio State has countered this by shifting the line over to the left to the weak side to help out this weak side over here, knowing good and well it might come that way because they've got a 2 receiver stack here. One-on-one, 4 or 5 yards of separation here for Ransom. You should be able to cover this guy. Watch what happens. This is Ransom right here. We'll snap it. Right off the bat, he's flat-footed on his heels. Don't like that. That's the first problem. Your technique was bad right out of the box. You're either going to backpedal or you ain't. What was the point in having separation here if you're not going to use the separation? Yeah, he doesn't use it at all. He just waits on him to come to him. That isn't going to work in the league. Pretty much every tight end that you get put on is going to smoke you if that's the case. All right, we run the set. Whoop. You see that little move? Stab, cut, gone. Ransom completely out of position. This ball goes all the way down to the 10-yard line. Know where it started. It started outside of the red zone, outside of the 20-yard line. A little stutter step was all it took for Ransom to bite and flip his hips. And because he didn't backpedal at all during this, he just kind of shuffled his feet a little bit. He absolutely was 100% out of position. Quarterback was waiting on it. Right over the top of him. Absolutely got smoked. Now you've seen it right there. He can guard in man. You just can't expect him to guard in man over the top consistently. I showed you the athletic testing. He doesn't have the breakaway speed to cover guys over the top. And his hips are a little stiff inside the box as far as going to guard man is concerned. So if you're going to put him in man, he needs to be short sets, dig routes over the middle within 10 yards, tight end screens, tight end outs, tight end slants. He can handle all of that. Problem comes when you try to hit it, try to make him cover over the top. Good news is we have Trevor Mooring. He's a much better coverage safety than Lathan Ransom. For what it's worth, I don't think Lathan Ransom will be starting, so it's not the end of the world. So if we're covering all the bases here, knockout tackler, good power on the field, sheds blocks well, wraps up pretty well, arm tackles when he overcommits, but that's when it's in the box and you're really looking for a big pop. Will absolutely lay the wood to you if you try to run over the middle and he's playing zone. Where can you beat him? You can beat him in man coverage where you get a little shifty guy on him, or you go over the top on him. He can cover, but that's not his strong point. His strong point is tackling, playing in the box. He's a pure strong safety. Again, comps for me are Mike Mentor, Kenny Vaccaro blend here. He's about the same size and plays about the same way. Do I think he'll see the field? Like I said earlier, yeah, I do, especially on special teams. He was involved in multiple different punt blocks. Very good special teams that they had in Ohio State there. If anybody gets injured on the defense, especially in the deep safety spots, he's going to be an option. I think they'll play Mooring and Richardson back there. Maybe they change something up. And if they do, Well, Ransom has an opportunity to come in and make some noise in training camp and preseason, and perhaps get on the field some more, again, in those dime nickel situations where they need a bigger guy out there. Buffalo nickel is a formation that the Panthers run a lot, which is just a heavy nickel formation. Instead of a corner, they put a safety on the field. He could be that safety because of his play inside the box. All that being said, I'm thrilled we got him. We need depth. We need guys who are back there that we can depend on. We need tacklers. One of the worst defenses in the history of the NFL last year. Statistically, the worst. No matter which metric you look at, it doesn't matter. We were pretty awful. So, thank y'all for watching. I appreciate it. We'll be back next time with our next guy, Cam Jackson. We'll keep going down the list, especially the undrafted free agents. See y'all then. Y'all be good, man.